Welcome to the Magic, Money, and Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Donovan. I'm a wife, mama, dog mom, a 5/1 manifesting generator, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, and Sagittarius rising. I'm a former teacher turned multiple six-figure entrepreneur. And as a psychic business coach, I help entrepreneurs combine the woo and the work to make fuck tons of money in the most simple, fun, and aligned way. Let's get started. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode. So this past week inside of the sales party, my 30-day sales challenge, I was talking about how fucking amazing pre-selling is and how much I love it for my business and how much it's helped my business. And I thought, oh, this is a good podcast episode. Just a forewarning, words are hard today. Okay, so what is a pre-sale? So you'll hear me interchangeably call this pre-sale. I also call it appreciation pricing. So this is a period of time, typically short period of time, when someone can buy your offer, your product, your service at the lowest possible price. Usually it's like an introductory price, and that's the lowest they'll ever get it. Now, there are two different types of pre-sales. There is the, oh my gosh, I just got the most amazing fucking download ever, and I need to do this now. There's that type of pre-sale. And then there's the second type, which is like a relaunch or a planned out launch, where you already know kind of a good chunk of the details. You know the transformation, maybe you've already ran the program before. So you already know a lot of the details, where the, oh my God, I just got an amazing download is literally like you have nothing but the vibe or the topic. I have done both. Both work really well. Now, you're going to want to really think about if this is something that you want to do now or just kind of keep in the back burner. And I'm going to go over how to know if it's yours, when you should do it or not. And if you're ready for it or if your community is ready for it. But first, I want to get into how it's really helped my business. So pre-selling an offer without all of the details and not waiting for everything to be perfect was so beneficial for my business. So back in the day, in the beginning of my business, I would get an idea for an offer. I'd get this download or I would get an idea and I would sit there and wait for the entire program to download in. All of the information, what each module was going to be about. I would wait to have all the back end stuff done. I would, make sure I had all the links and if I was getting their email or however I was doing it. And oh my God, did that create so much stagnancy in my business and waiting. This is the one thing, if you are noticing that people aren't jumping onto your offers, if you're getting clients who are saying, oh, let me think about it, or, oh, I'm going to wait and go into the next time. I want you to ask yourself, where are you waiting in your own life and business? And when I was like, gosh, things are not happening as fast as I desire, I started to look at, okay, well, what's going on? And I noticed how much I'm waiting for everything to be done. And this also would get me, because there was so much time gap, I would get in my head a lot and there would be a lot of perfectionism that would come in. Hello, Virgo, total perfectionism coming in. And or that would come through, or I would have situations where it would completely fizzle out, because one of the things I found is as things would channel in and I would get, spirit would bring me different things that needed to be put out. If I waited on them and hesitated on them and took months to wait for everything to come in before I officially launched it, I noticed, one, it would completely fizzle out. I would lose the full body yes about it. I would lose the information from it. And I would just get this, nope, it's no longer time. And so one of the things for us spiritual people who get these downloads, sometimes, we need to ask, is this something that needs to come through now? Or is this something that, can develop and wait? And a lot of times, especially in the earlier stages of my business, it was especially as a manifesting generator, it was nope, we're moving now. And it's because it came through me at that time for a reason. and it needed to go out into the collective at that time for a reason. If I waited, months for all of the things to be complete before I actually launched the offer, the collective and the timelines all had shifted already. And so I recognized if I wanted to have the impact that I wanted to have, I needed to move when Spirit said to move. And so this allowed me to do that. So I would get information that would come in and I would automatically oh, I've got the vibe. I'm going to go and start pre-selling it. Now, this also worked really well because I was able to bring in revenue even if my service ability was capped. So, for example, if I was, full with my one-on-ones, well, then if I wasn't able to launch something right then and there, I could still be generating more income coming in, but launch when maybe there's some more space in my calendar. This also was huge for me because when life is lifing and shit hits the fan, like in May, our home flooded. We were living in a hotel for 3 months. I was not going to go through a whole launch and start a new program when we were literally in the midst of chaos. So being able to pre-sell for when I knew things would calm down. So for example, I started pre-selling for something that in June and July, something that was going to start in September, because I knew that we would be a little bit more stable by then, or at least I had hoped. And so this really allowed me to, no matter what was happening in my life, I still was able to bring in revenue while, not having to actually service right at that moment. This also allowed me to, so when I've done relaunches, this allows me to kind of elongate the launch, sell into the future, just have my launches be more laid back, more fun, because the pre-selling, I would have people already in the offer before I went into launch mode. And that, I will tell you, if you want chill fucking sales, if you want a chill launch, you gotta like have people in before you even go into launch mode. Okay. So one of the things when it comes to pre-selling is these are for your people who are your hot community. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they have been following along, or the price point is such a fucking no-brainer that even if somebody, just came onto your page that day, into your social media, or came into your business that day, it's like they could automatically just be like, oh yeah, that's a for sure no-brainer, and jump in. It gets people to move. It incentivizes people to move. Those of you who are either already in your community, who are already yes, I want the next thing that you have, they're the easiest ones to sell to. And this is where pre-selling works so fucking well. Now, the thing is, this benefits your clients because it's the lowest possible price for them. Hello, win-win for everyone. It's a win for them because they get the lowest possible price. Sometimes I even like to throw in, for example, when I did the sales party, I started the pre-sale for it in December. And so what I did was I said, when you join, you get it at the pre-sale price. And then you also get bonus calls in January and February, because I really wanted to start bringing that we were moving back into our house, unpacking, we were doing all kinds of stuff. So I wasn't so much on the front lines, marketing and selling, but I wanted to be able to still generate income. And so I was like, all right, this is a win-win, because and then in January and February, I'm going to give you a free trainings to help you set up for March when we started. So it became a win-win for everyone. I was able to continue to bring in revenue, and they were able to get the lowest possible price and bonuses. And then I cannot fucking tell you, the way it supports you with having people in your offer before you even go into a full launch. Oh my gosh, it just feels so supportive as fuck. And it's especially if you are in the earlier stages in your business, if you need some revenue to be able to create the graphics and, have, hire somebody to help you write the sales page or whatever it may be, you're able to bring in this income. And here's the thing. If it's like you reward the people who are ready to jump, who trust you, who trust themselves, who have been in your world and know you, like you. And this really is like the less work I've got to do to get you into my offer, the lower the price it's going to be, right? The more work I have to do in order to get you into my program, the more the price is going to be, right? If you've got to hire a graphic designer, if you've got to hire a website person, if you've got to, which you don't have to do any of that stuff, but if that's something that you are desiring in your business, pre-selling can generate some income. I know a lot of authors will do this. They'll pre-sell their books before it's even ready to help pay for some of the upfront costs it comes to actually producing the book. You want to make sure that your community is ready for the pre-sale. So the first thing is you've got to know the vibe of the offer and have some sort of results and social proof. Like, the chances are going to be much higher of people jumping into your offer and a lot more people jumping into your offer when this is something that you are known for. It's a topic that they've seen you embody, that they know that you are the leader on that topic. Maybe you've talked about it. Your content talks about it. They've watched you do it. Even if you don't automatically talk about it, they've watched you do it. This is when they see you have the results and the social proof, right? Let's say you're selling an Instagram stories, okay, offer. If they've seen you sell on your Instagram and you talk about selling on Instagram and you share your results about selling on Instagram and how your stories are the thing that get you the sales and how you've made X amount of dollars through selling on stories, and then you come out with a selling on Instagram stories offer, it just makes sense. So for spiritual people, like, this is, I would do a lot of energy healings and activations. And so when I offered my various activations, when I did my sacral womb healing activation, it was an automatic yes for people to come in. When people were seeing me grow my business and having like massive results with having 30K months, when I offered my money program, it was like, duh, of course, right? So when you are the embodiment, it's the same thing. Like when I was showing up and showing people my psychic abilities, not just telling them I'm so good at what I do, but showing them and letting them experience it. I'm connecting those dots to how I am the leader in this industry about it, how I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when I went to offer an intuition program, it was an easy yes for people, because they saw me have the embodiment, right? I'm known for it. I have a brand around it. I have results. I have social proof. That is where your community is like, I trust her, right? Or they've been in your programs, other programs before, and they know what you create is fucking magic. So they're willing to take that risk because they trust you. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk about how to know if you're ready to do a pre-sale. So I don't think anyone should do a pre-sale just for the sake of doing a pre-sale. You gotta like actually have that desire to try it out, to do it. If you are somebody who's looking at your pricing and you're like, hell no, it would feel absolutely disgusting to go less than this price that I want to sell it for, maybe that price is your pre-sale price. But if you're like, I would not want to go lower, then you don't have to do pre-sale. But if it feels fun and you're excited and you want to try it out, go for it. If you are fully available and know it's possible for magic and miracles to happen, especially in a short time, go for it. And if you are able to let yourself play within the pre-sale and not be attached to the income. So you have to be detached from the outcome. You cannot sit there and, if you're doing a pre-sale, sit there and refresh your DMs or refresh your page links or refresh your email to see if people are coming in. You have to make sure that, and you don't create any stories. I remember when I first was doing the pre-sale, and it was like, okay, I did the pre-sale and people jumped in, and I remember thinking, well, why would anyone buy at my higher price? And I got all fucked in my head at the regular price when I moved into regular price time, and my energy totally dropped. I like couldn't hold the energy because I was constantly thinking these stories about how if people didn't buy at the pre-sale price, they wouldn't buy at the regular price. And let me tell you, that is absolutely not freaking true. I have seen myself and so many people, clients, friends in programs, like where they have passed up the pre-sale price for various reasons. It can be, they just didn't freaking see it. It could be that they, maybe the pricing or the timing at that moment in time didn't align, but I've seen literally where like they wanted to jump in, but finances, cash flow wasn't there. The very next day after pre-sale ended, they got, a big old check or, massive influx of cash, and then they jumped in at regular price. I've seen like so many things happen, but originally when I first started doing this, I had those thoughts. So you have to be able to stay detached from any type of meaning or stories if people are jumping in or not jumping in at the pre-sale price. Okay. So once you're like, yep, community is ready. Yep, I'm ready. Let's talk about how you do it. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. They all work. The first way is like behind the scenes. So sometimes a pre-sale can work really well if, people who are already on a special list, if you have a wait list from the previous round, you can start pre-selling to them. If maybe you had a previous round and they reached out after it started, you can actually go in and like message them and say, hey, if they're asking about it, hey, we're launching, we're going to start again on X date. Would you like to join at pre-sale pricing or make it your own? But you could totally do that. Or if somebody reaches out and cart is closed or it's, not available, you can have them put it down a deposit or start paying the pre-sale pricing. Right then and there, so they can save their spot for the next round. They can start paying for like a year in advance. For some people will pay like a year in advance to be able to have the lowest price. Okay, so you can do that. Another way is from like a previous program. So one of the things that I love to do is if somebody is in a program with me and if they are going to come into the next program, when I was doing like the launch methods and I had multiple programs running in a year, I would, like, for example, in the channel, like about a week before it ended, the channel was 6 weeks out of about week 5, I would start telling them about the next offer, which it's been like Wealth Unleashed usually is what would come after. And so I would give them a discounted rate, the pre-sale price for them joining me. And they would have to do it before the pre-sale price can only last a little bit. Like it can only last 48 to 72 hours. I used to do longer pre-sales. I would do anything from a week to I've done a month. And one of the things that I noticed is I really struggled with not going into full launch mode when I was pre-selling for that long. Like I felt myself going into full launch mode, using all of that energy, all of the content, using like energetically becoming very invested at the pre-sale price. And then by the time I went into launch mode at regular pricing, energetically I was burnt out because all of my energy and reserves were used during the pre-sale. So I stopped doing that and I started only doing pre-sales because the whole point is to get people to move fast. Giving them a month defeats the entire purpose of that like first pre-sale price. Now you can have early bird pricing that can last a little bit longer, but when you are wanting that fast jolt of people coming in, we want to keep it short to 48 hours to 72 hours. So think flash sale in a sense. Okay. So I would tell them they had this amount of time to join me. And then I would go into, this is back in the day when I would have like a 2-week launch where I would do 1 week for the masterclass. And then on the back end of the masterclass, I would launch the program and would be promoting all that week for the program. And so they would always, like, my deadline was always before the masterclass started. And this was so helpful because I had people already in the program to start the masterclass, to start the pitch, to start the promotion. I already had people in there. So if they've reached out from last round, if they were on a special list, they're in a previous program, all really great ways behind the scenes for pre-selling. The next thing is the tease something is coming kind of method. So this can be, I've done this where I've posted on social media that something downloaded in. Usually I'll tell them kind of the vibe of what is downloaded in. And I will ask them to either drop me an emoji down below if they want the details, or to message me if they want the sneak peek. I did that for Black Friday, my Black Friday sales, and that worked so freaking well. But really allowing people to have some sort of engagement to say if they want the information, if you're going to do it on social media, or you can tell them to look somewhere specific. So I'm going to be dropping the pre-sale for this offer. Something is coming in your email box, right? It's like, I'm going to be dropping it in your email. Get on the email. Wherever you want them to be looking, you can start teasing them and informing them. And then that way, when you tell them about the pre-sale, you launch it right on the email. They've got it. They know what to look for. I will say this is so incredibly helpful in informing your people. If you have, there are offers that are going to come through that you're going to be like, no, this needs to go now. And then there are going to be offers where you're like, okay, this can take a little bit of time. If it's the type of offer that can take a little bit of time, teasing that something is coming, telling them where to look, letting them know that they're going to want to check their email or check this space for something, it just makes your pre-sale so much more fucking potent. And then of course there is just on the front lines, share it all. Oh my gosh, I have this download. Here's the vibe. Here's what it is. They all work. It's a matter of understanding your current community, how they work, the level of trust that they have with you, how hot they are versus how cold they are, and your own level to hold the energy with all of that. But I will tell you, I freaking love pre-selling. It has absolutely supported me in so many ways in my business. And I freaking cannot wait to hear if you love it, if it has worked for you. And if so, I would love to know. Please message me on Facebook or on Instagram. Let me know any aha moments. Let me know if you're checking this out and if you're going to try a pre-sale. And if you think that this could benefit somebody else, it would mean the absolute world to me if you shared it with them or shared this on your social media and tagged me. My Facebook and Instagram will be linked in the show notes. And let's spread the frickin' word out and let's help people all across the world make fuck tons of money. All right, my loves, I will see you on the next episode. I hope you have the best day ever. If you loved this episode, it would mean the absolute world to me if you let me know by sending me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Both are linked in the show notes, or rating and reviewing down below. All right, my loves, I hope you have the best day ever, and I'll chat with you on the next episode.